Hello, this session is being recorded. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn. I'm very excited to have Cameron Lynch from Atani Business Platform. Now, I know that whenever someone mentions Microsoft Power BI in the accounting and bookkeeping world, there is absolute fascination with this topic. So I'm really looking forward to how Cameron is going to share how his solution enables us as accountants and bookkeepers to roll out Microsoft Power BI across our client base. So over to you, Cameron.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Heather. It's great to be a part of it.
Very pleased to have you.
So I'm just sharing my screen. Can you give me a
yes,
green
we
light?
can see that. I can see that. I can see. Yep, now I can see it's looking good.
Great. So what I wanted to do, I'll just start with a quick intro about myself. Look, I'm a chartered accountant and I've worked in mid-tier and small-tier accounting practices for over 6 years. And then I also worked in commerce for a couple of years with big consolidated groups. And the Atani engine has been going now for about 6 years, since about 2015. So we've been doing a lot of data analytics and a lot of work with Microsoft Power BI, with accounting firms and the mid-market business. So this is what we're going to talk about today, is the Atani engine, and it's a business intelligence reporting platform for the SME market. So Heather's put together a couple of questions that I wanted to go through with you to sort of give you an idea of the landscape and how it works. So one of the first questions is, what problem is solved? So in my opinion, right now, the only reason that every single accounting firm is not using Microsoft Power BI is the skill gap. Okay, there's an obvious skill gap in the profession on using this data analytics platform, but if you did research, it is the most powerful, most heavily resourced, like thousands of developers on Microsoft's team putting this together. All of the corporates across the world use it. Every university's training in it now. It's being seen as a replacement to the Excel, and it's a super powerful platform, but there is a skill gap in the profession. So the solution is twofold. One, Atani helps you with a lot of that type of environment with IT infrastructure, so databases and servers and loading of data like Zero Blue and some of the other data sources that I'm going to talk to you about, and also the training as well. What we have recently launched, though, as well, is the Atani Business Insights package as well, which is still being run by Power BI, but you don't actually have to use it yourself. And I'll show you what that means during the demonstration so that you understand that. So just a background on what works well. There's 4 areas that I see most accounting firms doing work in. It's management reporting, so like that financial data, so your budgets, the actuals, and your that type of debtor days environment would be one of the more popular ways of using it. Also the operational reporting. So when you do operational reporting, there's lots of different operational data. There's payroll systems, there's inventory management systems, there's workflow systems like Workflow Max and SimPro. So there's lots of different operational reporting niches that are happening across the world in accounting firms. Consolidation is also very popular to do because you can bundle 80, I think the record on Atani is we've got a group with 132 Xero organizations, which is quite remarkable, really. And then what they're able to do is run an FX feed to stabilize a base currency rate and also have like an alignment with tracking categories. And so that's why consolidation is quite powerful inside Power BI. And then lastly, internal reporting. So internal reporting can be Xero Practice Manager. You're looking at these write-offs and productivity and WIP analysis and that type of stuff that I'm sure you are all aware of. So what is not ideal is for Power BI, for anyone who's not familiar with it, it's not ideal for manual inputs. It's not Excel. So you can collect, automate, and centralize data in Power BI, but it's not ideal for, like, I've put a couple of ideas here on the screen for you to have a look at, but like building a 3-way cash flow or, a workflow board, like a Kanban board, where the user interacts with that board. Power BI is not really designed for that. It's a representation of lots of data sources, but it's not really an input mechanism, if that makes sense. So hopefully that would make sense. But please give me a call if you have any questions about some of the things that I'm talking about today. So Itani, we integrate with basically the most popular items on the Xero marketplace. So we've got about 25 data sources at the moment. So your inventory management's like your DIA and your SIN7, your payrolls, your job management. We've got lots of different data sources, which you can see on our website if you go to the integration page. Details pushed in Xero. We don't do any pushing of data into your clients' Xero files. All we're doing is collecting that data from Xero and centralizing it into a database for you. So the setup process, we've got a 30-day trial of the platform that you can sign up for on the link in the top right-hand corner of the itani.com.au website. And during that trial, we give you full access to the platform, and you also run 2 90-minute onboarding sessions with Itani, and we sort of get you going with the template library and try and help you get going. So I'm going to go into the demonstration now, and I really want to push on this business insights package. I just put here on the board, there's quite a few things that I can show you with this. So I'm trying to pick out some more popular areas, but if you want to come back to me and talk to me privately, if you have anything, especially with what I just showed earlier about some of the other use cases like consolidation, please do come and give me a call or book an appointment with me. So I'm just going to switch over to the browser. And I'll show you how Itani Business Insights works. So it's a 3 or 4 step process where you have your client. And this example that we're going to do today is a Xero Practice Manager example, but this same process can be applied to lots of different data sources, Xero Blue or SimPro or whatever the other data source might be. So step 1 is that you add your data source. So we select which data we're connecting to, we sign in and we select that specific file. So that's the first thing. So in this example, we would be connecting to XPM. What will happen in the background once you do that is Itani will load that data. The second process is to invite the client users into the platform that you want to have access to this report. So because we're talking about XPM today, it would be your staff in your firm. So you would invite all of your staff into the firm, into this platform, and so that they can have access to the report. So that's step 2. Step 3, once you receive an email that the data is loaded, you'll receive this, what's called a template deck. Okay, and what we can do with this template is branch it out and show the reports that we want to show. So we will duplicate this report, and we've got a list of all the different templates available for XPM. So in this example, what I'm going to show you is an individual staff dashboard. So I'm going to select the template, which is the individual staff dashboard, submit it. And as you can see now we've got a duplicate report of the individual staff dashboard. Okay, and we're going to submit it and go live to the staff. Okay. So once we go live, this is where we would go, okay, up pops all the staff. So who do you want to see this? Which of the staff that you've already invited into the platform, which do you want to have access to this report? Because remember that there's client, there's partners, there's managers, and there's individuals. So in some cases, it might be everyone. In some other cases, it might be only partner specific. So we'll go live on that report. And then what we'll do is, then from there, what we'll do is I'll show you this individual staff dashboard, which I think is very cool. So the idea of this is if I preview it with row level security, what I can say is, okay, here's previewing it as intermediate accountant 16. So if I say, let's look at it at intermediate accountant 16, what's happening right now is it's opening up the template, an individual staff dashboard, but only intermediate accountant 16's data, okay? So I'll just quickly close this because I want to just illustrate what that means and how powerful this really is. If I scroll down to junior accountant 14 instead, exact same report, okay? And they're opening the report, but once again, they can only see their data. Okay, so this is quite a powerful way of segmenting data, and so that they can only see what they are, what they want, and you can actually choose. So this is a template that we've chosen. So based on our knowledge, we've said, look, some of the things that are important are that a staff member has a billing target. We look at their productivity, we look at their write-offs, and we get them to analyze WIP. Okay, but then you can actually go behind the scenes into each page, and you can see here how everything updates. You can change the hours, and this is the data for January for junior accountant 14. So you can see how interactive it is. We can actually go back to that home page and say, oh, okay, I also want to look at WIP, and there's that junior accountant 14's data, but only junior accountant 14's data for their WIP analysis. So it's quite powerful to have. Basically, what I find is that firms say, look, we don't have everything. Like, we don't have a ground where they can come to and look, where's their safe space, the staff safe space. And this can be it. This can be a way of them going somewhere and finding what they need. So the last example I want to show you quickly as well is how you can edit these in Tani Business Insights. So we're going to go back to the template again. We're going to duplicate that report, but this time, instead of an individual dashboard, we're going to do a partner report, okay, with the table of contents as the template. Submit it, and it duplicates it. And now what I can do is actually edit that report. So this is Power BI that's opening up, but you can simply, what we've come up with is a range of different tabs for different areas of the business. Now you might say, I don't want that one, I don't want that one, I don't want to have job analysis. So you might delete them. You can change a few things on the report, and then we're going to go File and Save, and we're going to go live on this report once again and decide who sees it. So this time when we go live, we're only going to select those partners. So that might be a Tani 4, a Tani 14, and Tani 7. So none of those juniors can have access to it, okay? And that's where we can do that segmentation, which is quite powerful. And if you view the report, this is their partner report where we can go to some of the same things like productivity, but see how everybody's there now? So before, what I was showing you was only junior accountant 14's data. Now, as a partner level, we can see the whole firm at a top level. And drill into junior accountant 15, change it over to February, and see it's quite an interactive report for the partner to use. So they're my two demos that I wanted to share with you today, just illustrating Tani Business Insights, how you can actually just use this, and you wouldn't even know that it was Power BI. Now, if I was just quickly going back to that slide, which I was referring to at the start with what's the problem and how do we solve it, that's the Tani Business Insights, where you can just spit out templates quickly. But we obviously much prefer you to go down the training and a Tani IT infrastructure line, because then you can use Power BI yourself and edit and create like quite powerful, rich reports yourself, very customizable. But today I just wanted to share with you the Business Insights side, which can spit out those templates really quickly for you. So Heather, that was the end of what I wanted to present. How did I go for time there? Okay.
Oh, you've got another 5 minutes if you want it. If there's something else you'd like to if you've got something else up your sleeve that you could demonstrate, that would be sensational. Okay. If you want.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, what I really love to show is operational reporting. So I just wanted to touch on. It's very popular to do what I would classify as management reporting. So management reporting is your budget v actual, but I love operational reporting. So I'm just putting up on a screen something. This is a medical practice, and so yeah, sorry, it's just loading up. So a medical practice where we're actually getting the medical practice data, if that makes sense. So what I think this one is actually using a platform called Best Practice, but there's a couple out there. And so what it's showing you is that you can change the financial year, you can change the month, and it's actually got the practitioners, how many patients they've seen in that period, the days that they worked. So a really critical operational KPI for a doctor is average patients per day, or the breakdown of your fees, or if you're not corporately owned, the on costs. Now, the reason I keep so heavily pushing accountants down the line of operational reporting is because it's so rich. I mean, you can imagine showing a medical doctor who doesn't have financial acumen, you show them a profit and loss, budget the actual, versus this. Now, this to them is something that is just, they can consume on a daily, weekly basis. You can imagine that they would find it very useful to analyze. And that's why I'm so big on the operational reporting. I really see it as the future of where practice should be going. And in commerce, I think it's already happened. That ship sailed. If you're a CFO of a business, you must be doing operational reporting to your board. But I think the practice area is still in that management reporting level. But I think operational reporting has to come because it's so valuable to make better decisions. How's that, Heather?
Yep, excellent. No, it's very interesting. And I think the color and the triggers there really encourage the understanding and the financial literacy, as you said, of sort of doctors who may not completely grasp financial literacy. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, Cam. Really appreciate it. I think it's a really powerful tool and sort of that one that a lot of people could really uptake in their business. And I think one of the things that you've always said to me, which is want to make sure that people understand, is if you are customizing the development of the templates for your clients are going to remain sticky with you because those templates, the IP belongs to the accountant or the bookkeeper or the advisor who's actually developed them.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the most common themes is a quote where it says, eventually everybody will have the same technology. Well, that is true to some degree, but the firms that have built out niche areas in these reporting spaces, that is actually their IP. So it's quite common for people to specialize in areas like medical or inventory management or HubSpot, and they've developed reports that are niche to their firm and their marketing to chase down different businesses.
Yeah, and that would really, again, you've actually developed a product that you can roll out to a number of people. Now, people are quite intrigued by the fish. So
right.
Maybe give us an explanation of what the video is doing there. Like you can just pop a little video or a little GIF in there, can you?
So this is actually a visualization inside Power BI. Now, what happened was when Power BI came onto the scene, they had a competitor by the name of Tableau. And Tableau was very strong in the visualization front. So Microsoft's answer to that is that they open sourced their visualizations, which means that they said, hey, any developers out there that want to create visuals and sell them to customers, we'll create a marketplace where you can buy them. And so this bottom right fish one is a custom visual that you can buy on the App Store. So if you actually select this big fish, for example, see how it interacts. So that big fish is the smart doctor. He's the biggest on cost. So the smart doctor is not very smart. He's actually carrying the highest on costs in the firm. This could easily be shown as a column graph, but it's just about creativity and making things more interesting.
Oh, absolutely. A lot more fun. I can see that people that actually come in and, different, it's that visualization. Some people grasp information in different ways and that visualization can really help some people. And we as accountants and bookkeepers really need to be open to that because we want the story to resonate with our clients. So
absolutely.
So I would like to open up to everyone who's attended today. Do you have any questions that Cam could answer for you? So please jump on. Nicole's going to show you how it happens, how it works. So jump on and ask your question, or if you don't want to ask it publicly, you can pop it in the chat area and I'll ask it. But Nicole, do you have any questions there for Cam?
I do have a question. I haven't looked at this stuff in depth before, but I have heard a rumor that Power BI is not Mac compatible. Is that true? If I'm on a Mac, can I do this, or is it not for me?
In essence, the answer is yes, you can't do it. So Power BI Desktop is a program. So you have Power BI Web, which you're looking at right now, where it hosts the reports. You can do a bit of editing of the reports on the web browser, but most of your work is done on Power BI Desktop, which is a program like Excel or Word. And so, yeah, Mac and the war between Apple and Microsoft continues, and this is unfortunately a limitation to it.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, thank you for your question, Nicole. Thank you for the question. Now, does anyone else have any questions where they'd like to jump on? So I have a question for you, Cam. Back when you were showing us and talking to us about consolidations, I think that you only mentioned Xero there. Can I consolidate files from, maybe I'm an accountant and I've got QBO, I've got Xero files, I've got MYOB files, and I might even have an Excel spreadsheet. Can I consolidate all of those?
Yes, you can. Like, I understand on the UI front with Xero, for example, it's quite popular and it has a lot more features and functionality, but actually through the API, Xero, QuickBooks, MYOB, that they're all quite similar under the hood. They've all got an invoice table. They've all got a credit notes table. They've all got a chart of accounts.
Sounds like they're all accounting systems.
Yeah. So when we initially built the Xero templates, it actually wasn't that difficult to transfer it across and create the same similar templates in MYOB and QBO. So yes, you can do that, Heather. Yes, and also Excel. So Excel is quite popular. I see people who run very small, so they might have 10 Xero files for consolidation, and then they might have 1 or 2 that are in Excel. And I try and encourage them to just put it into a cash book instead. Pay the, what is it, $2 a month. I think it's worth it in the long run rather than mucking around with Excel. Get your accountant to give you that special pricing for one of the cash books, and then you can manage it that way.
Yeah, accountants love Excel though, don't they?
They do.
But we constantly, okay, but moving them on. Now, does anyone else have any questions that they'd like to jump in and ask? So, Ron, yes, you go. You go there. Ron, did you have any questions? I know you've jumped in. You've always got some questions there. Otherwise, I'll hand over to you, Cam, if you've got something else you'd like to tell us.
Yeah, I just wanted to note that there's a new feature that's actually just recently been opened up by Xero's API, where now we can collect the budget tracking categories. So previously, we could only get the overall budget inside Xero. And now we can get the tracking category budgets, which is really powerful because that means then you can actually do budget v actual and you can slice it across different tracking categories. And I just wanted to let people know that that's recently come and it's fantastic.
Excellent. And always the ability to define, redefine data is really important for us. Sort of tag it as much as you possibly can. And I knew Ron had a question there. He's got his hand up, so I'll hand it over to you, Ron. What's your question for Cam?
Hi, Cameron. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. I really sat up straight when I heard you talk about operational data as opposed to management reporting. I am a great believer in the lower level information, but unfortunately, yes, you knew it, I supplied in spreadsheets. While I get really excited by them, nobody else seems to. They just look at them and go, oh. Now, I tried to get pretty graphs and things, but it sort of goes against my grain, the data, the details in the numbers, But I've been told that, there are these left-brain people who love colours, and immediately we all looked at the fish. So maybe we are more left-brain than we care to admit. But I am truly amazed at what you're doing. But where is this data coming from? It's obviously not coming from Xero, because I don't have anything. I have some basics in Xero, but not the sort of level that you're reporting from. Yeah.
So we do work on that management reporting space, but we've got additional integrations that are coming out every day. Not every day, regularly we're bringing out new data sources. So you can actually get a list of them here. And so basically inside the system that I was showing earlier, third-party applications, you add your data sources and you select which data source you want. And what we do is we connect and refresh it regularly for you. And then we also give you a template to get going with it as well. So, I mean, on the reporting level, what's the most popular thing to do is margin analysis. I mean, that's basically the most popular thing to do with operational reporting. It doesn't matter if it's a product-based business, we want to know how much the product was purchased for and how much it was sold for. And then you can slice it by location, date, salesperson, category, all the different slices. But if you go out of that into service-based businesses like an accounting firm, we want to know the difference between WIP that was put on the clock versus the invoiced amount. So it's still margin analysis as well that we're looking at. And that's what a lot of people do with operational data. Yeah. And colors, colors are not my strength, and my background's accounting also, Ron. So, but there's quite a lot of research into how you display these reports and customize them to be very intuitive and easy to understand. What the other one me and Heather were recently talking about is that I think it was 8% of men are colorblind, that just blew my mind, because such a popular report we do is traffic light reporting, red, orange, green, and 8% of the male population can't actually see it. So the colors and the layout and the visualizations are much more important than I first realized.
Yeah, that was.
I probably fall into that category, because I thought Nicole's favorite color was sort of a pink.
Yeah, no, it is actually really astonishing that there is different layers and different extremes of the color blindness. And you, when you're developing this, you've got to assume that there are going to be people who are not going to see, like the traffic lights just didn't work at all, which is, I'd have always dropped in the traffic light colors, but they don't work at all for a number of people, which is extraordinarily interesting. And again, that they don't discover till they're 40 or 50 as well. So it's kind of like they don't even know you're making all this effort and they don't even know. But I do have a question for you. And if anyone else has any questions, drop them in, jump online and ask them. But what is the refresh rate of the reports from, say, for example, Live Zero Blue?
Okay, so what we do is we refresh client data every 6 hours. Okay, so every 6 hours we'll run a refresh on it and sync it to Power BI for you. What you can also do is fire off an immediate refresh. So we've also got this refresh now button as well, so that you can go bang, get it done right now because I'm doing something. But 6 hours is generally enough for people, what we would classify as live data.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And if they wanted to push, if they needed to get an update, can you force that?
Yeah, so that's this refresh now button.
Oh, okay,
here.
sorry.
Yeah, so that's so in the background it runs every 6 hours, but then you can just fire off an immediate refresh at any time if you needed it.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. Thank you for that, Cam. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, so thank you so much for joining us, Cam. We'll just do a slow wrap up. How can people get in contact with you, and what is the best way to start this journey? Because I really think that whenever we're talking about Power BI, it is a journey. It's not just we're going to get this solution. This is going to be a big impact, a big positive impact if it's a journey that you decide to take.
Yeah, so we have different stages with people depending on their skill set. So people coming from a Power BI background generally find us and will sign up immediately because they'll be like, thankfully we found you. As opposed to somebody who's not very familiar with it, probably the best thing to do is to book in a demonstration with me and ask the questions that you might be fearing, that you might not quite understand, and get into the detail of it. We also, on the website, we have, if you click here, if you don't want to book in a time with me at this point in time, you can go to the online demo and you can fill in your details and quickly get, there's over a couple of hours of small, short video content, and you can sort of choose your own adventure as to what you want to learn about and understand better. So in this online demo, we do things like we get right down to the basics and say, where did Power BI come from? Who uses it? What do they use it for? So I try and get really quite detailed understanding of the background of it.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Cameron. And please, if this is of interest to you now or in the future, please get in contact with Cameron or look at Atani. If there are no more questions, I will say thank you, Cameron, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, everybody. And it's a great initiative. I think it's fantastic what you're doing, Heather, to have these on. And so people can have a little bite-size experience of all the different apps, because there's just so many.
Oh, yes. Well, there's 1,000. So I think I probably need to be running these 10 times a week to get through them all. But thank you, thank you, thank you.